Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, it's time for our weekly King of Fighters 15 character trailer breakdown. And this week we have another twofer, as it is Ralph Jones and Clark Still, 2/3 of the Ikari Warriors. So these fine beefy gentlemen join up with Leona, and all three of them make the Ikari Warriors team. And as always, we're going to break the trailer down in full. And also there's a brand new big mechanic, which we'll talk about after we do the proper trailer breakdown. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about there because it's going to be big. And hey, let's talk about the characters themselves, what they're all about. How about we do that? So Ralph and Clark are part of the Ikari Warriors faction. This faction always shows up in some way, shape, or form in every King of Fighters, although sometimes the roster changes. The Ikari Warriors are always some combination of Hydern, Leona, Ralf and Clark, and Whip. Hydern is the leader of the faction. Leona, I guess I could say, is the face of the faction, the most popular character anyways. Whip has been on other teams in the past, but she's still part of the faction. But Ralf and Clark are kind of the mainstays. They are the ones you can always count on. And like many characters in King of Fighters isn't necessarily where they got their start, as Ralph and Clark are the titular Ikari Warriors. So the game Ikari Warriors is where Ralph and Clark got their start, and it's very much, old school style, top down, shoot 'em up, just basically your Rambo for lack of a better term, and you're just icing a lot of people. These are not the only games that Ralph and Clark show up in, as Clark, Ralph, and even Leona show up also in the later years Metal Slug games. If there's a paycheck and the cause is right, the Ikari Warriors will show up. As a military force not associated with any particular government, they're just always there to make sure the good guy wins in the end. Which is why they are there every year for King of Fighters, because wouldn't you know it, what is nominally supposed to just be a martial arts tournament always seemingly has an underlying clause, There's always something else going on, just like every fighting game. Except for KOF 14, actually. Antonov is absolutely on the level, but then other stuff happens beyond his planning anyways, and everything goes crazy, and the dead come back from life. So yeah, there's something that always happens in these tournaments, so it's always good to have a little bit of oversight from a military force. Now, plot-wise, compared to literally everyone else in the Ikari Warriors, Whip, Leona, and Hydern, Ralph and Clark are just kinda there, honestly. They themselves are not what's moving and shaking things. They're always there to, lend their muscle to whatever event's going on, but they themselves are never really the focus of any direct plot. So no Orochi stuff, no Rugal stuff. They're just there to get pointed somewhere and fight something. In a lot of games, their main role is to support Leona. If Leona goes crazy, turns into Orochi Leona, they're there to calm her down and set her on the right path. Now, as for Ralph and Clark themselves, so before, back in the day, they were pretty much the same character gameplay-wise. Although nowadays they are pretty different, although they still have a few links that, show their shared DNA. So Ralph, the big guy with the bandana, he is basically the berserker. He's all about big strikes, all that kind of stuff, big moves. Clark, the guy with the hat, he is the grappler and has all sorts of command grabs. One move, for example, the Gatling combination, is a shared move, both have it. But for Clark, the grappler, his version is a charge move. You have to hold backwards and hit forward. But for Ralph, his is a motion move, just to show, he's a lot more forward moving. Don't got time to worry about things like charge. Whereas Clark, being a grappler, a little bit slower. You can tell just from the level 3s, this is King of Fighters 14, by the way. So Clark gets you and just manipulates your joints and then dumps you on your head. So very scientific. Ralph, being the raging baboon man that he is, all about the big punches. And when he gets you, man, it just goes to town, just big layups, big wallops. And then, being the cool guy walking through the fire after the explosion, that kind of stuff. Ralph is Rambo. Clark is John McClane, basically. Now onto the trailer. So yes, Ralph, Leona, Clark, that is Team Ikari. And the stage, oh my god, beautiful stage here. We showed some Metal Gear earlier on. This is the Metal Gear stage. You can see the Metal Gear tank. You have the POW there. Even on the side, there's the camel with the machine guns. So you got all the Metal Slug you can handle. I love the stage. This is a truly beautiful stage. It's great. And for the opening of our gameplay, first here we see the big gorilla fist from Ralf. So this is a move that's shared by both of them. And when it comes to footsies normals, stand heavy punch is a very good one as it outranges the majority of the cast. You can get really stupid with this move. Next up here, Ralf does the Ralf kick. Lots of Ralf moves are named the Ralf something. Next up from Clark, we have a close light punch, a crouching light punch, and going into his light Gatling attack. Now, Ralf goes for that focus attack we talked about before in older videos, and we wondered if it was punishable, and, well, it seemingly gets punished by Clark's command grab. Now, just so you know, this command grab is frame 1 startup. Not 17 frames like Dragon Ball FighterZ, not 5 frames like Street Fighter V, not even 2 frames like Street Fighter 4. Frame 1. So against Clark, you have to watch out. On top of this lightning speed, it's basically a Potemkin buster minus the jumping up. He throws you up and then kind of lets the backbreaker do the work for itself. And also, he has a follow-up. On many of Clark's grabs, he has an additional just running elbow follow-up, and it's just basically free damage, and there's very little reason not to take it. From there, Clark follows up here. He gets close heavy punch into his command hop. King of Fighters certainly is not hurting for like mobility options, but still this is an extra option. It's basically movement he can cancel from a hit, so he can always just move forward just an extra little bit. And then from there, the Frankensteiner returns for Clark. He hasn't had this move in a while. Now, you might be asking, if he has a frame 1 command grab, what on earth does he need a different command grab for? Well, obviously, because this one has invincible startup. You know, you have your frame 1, and you have your one that's basically a dragon punch but a command grab instead. So I can do this to you on your wake up and you can't mash out of it, basically. And of course, he also gets the elbow follow-up, like the regular Argentine backbreaker. So King of Fighters grapplers kind of don't screw around, is what I'm trying to tell you. Watch out for Clark, because he's the real deal. From there, Clark follows up, and he kind of whiffs, and then we get the Ralf Dive Bomber. Think of it like a dive kick, but it's a punch instead. It lets him change his angle in the air and also, slow his roll, because he stops for a split second. And any move that like messes around with air angles and air timing is always very strong. From there, just a bunch of whiffing and trading. That's jump CD from Ralf, stand heavy kick from Clark, stand heavy kick from Ralf, and then a whiffed jump CD from Clark. Now here's where some magic happens, because that's an all new mechanic, never before seen, and a lot of potential possibilities. So right here, don't know what to call it, might as well call it Red Max Mode, because Max Mode is a thing in KOF, and we've definitely seen Blue Max before in quite a few trailers, but this is just something else. So at the very minimum, it resets your timing, and then you get to go into another combo state. I guess for newer players, I guess you can call it something like a Roman cancel. It also maintains the tiny run forward like the King of Fighters 14 Max Mode, just to make sure you get your combo so you don't accidentally push him out of the way. And there's a lot more here just for Clark. So close heavy into forward light kick command normal doesn't combo in King of Fighters 14. It combos now. And also, forward light kick wasn't special cancelable, and it is now. So, like, that's a huge buff for Clark as well. After he does EX Gatling, he launches and goes into tackle, and tackle's a whole thing. Clark has a lot of options from the tackle, a lot of possibilities. From here, he goes into the DDT, into the elbow follow-up. We're going to talk more about this max mode and what it means at the end of this, once we get all the trailer breakdown stuff done. And after all that, this is Clark's level 1 grab super, where he just breaks your back 3 times and then dumps you on your head. We get some nice poses here from Ralf and Clark, ready to battle. From their crouch heavy punch into Gatling attack. Once again, Ralph's is a motion, Clark's is a charge. They both share, but it's different moves. We see a bunch of kind of nothing here as they keep whiffing, but you know what? Clark catches him with the focus attack. So this means we have a crumple, and he can do a combo from it. And Clark's combo, once again, none of this would have been possible in KOF 14. The heavy wouldn't go into the command normal, and the command normal would not be special cancelable, so it's all a huge buff for him. So here we see both hits of close heavy punch rock. Normally the first one, that would be the one you cancel on. And now it's Ralph's turn. So jump heavy punch, close heavy kick, down forward light punch, that's command normal for him, into the new red max mode, another close heavy kick. Now this is EX Ralf Impact, which causes a crumple state. EX Ralf Kick, which causes a juggle state, so he can still follow up. And then we're going to go into a level 1. From there, we see the level 1 Vulcan Punch Super, and he just grounds and pounds you. And that is basically the trailer. You see some, brief flashes of their level 3s, but that's the trailer. So before we close out, we need to talk more about this red max mode, as it's seemingly a very big deal. So let's look at it on its face. You do your hits, close normal, command normal, max, do more hits, right? And you move forward a little bit like KOF 14, but it's basically, okay, that's KOF 14, that's KOF 2002. This is not new in and of itself, although, that look is new. But we've seen them doing raw max mode before, and it was blue, not red. Now, to be fair, we have not seen max mode in a combo like this, but it might mean there are two different kinds of max modes in this game. Blue max modes and red max modes. Maybe being in blue max mode is what allows for crazy stuff like level 1 super into level 2 super into level 3 super, and red max mode is more for direct combos with regular moves. So it could be like this max mode is like the KOF 14 style max mode, because Ralf here, he's gonna get his hits in, break into max mode here, get more hits, right? But here he's gonna do EX into another EX and then into his super, right? So it might be like KOF 14 max mode where each EX drains the bar, but the max mode itself only takes 1 bar to do, so it's much stronger for combos. And maybe blue max mode is only for supers, or maybe you have to pick, old style games where you had to pick advanced mode or extra mode. Maybe you have to pick between blue max or red max. Blue max allows for like 1 to 2 to 3 supers, and maybe you can do EX moves whenever you want, unlike KOF 14, where you could not do EX moves wherever you wanted. You can only do them inside max mode, but when you are inside of max mode, you could do multiple EXs for the cost of 1 bar. So maybe that's the difference. Blue max mode, better super combos and EXs whenever you want. Red max mode, you get to burn EXs, multiple EXs for a single bar, but you'll have to be inside the max mode to do it. So one a bit more free, one a bit more restricted, but bigger combo potential. To be frank, I have no idea because we can only go off what they give us. But as it stands, the closer we get to the game launch, closer and more we understand about what the game is, the more they're shattering all expectations. Because this is getting kind of crazy, because I don't know where they're going with this, but it is very, very interesting. That all said, I'm going to toss it to you guys in the comments below, because I want to know what you think is going on here, because I'm flummoxed. I don't know. I got some speculation, I guess, but this is pretty big. It's a pretty big deal here, because they're definitely showing us it's not what we're expecting, and that's interesting to say the least. And also, just on further trailers, now that we got another 2-4, probably next trailer is going to be K-Dash, because he's the only unrevealed character left. That was in the original trailer, and then I guess after that it might be like Kula and Maxima to finish off his team. And we still have the final member of the women's team, and who knows who that'll be. Hopefully not Alice. Don't know. But yeah, I'm happy. It seems to be the trailers are speeding up just a little bit as we go forward. We still got a lot of characters to go. I don't even think we're halfway done yet. So don't worry, there'll be plenty more breakdowns in the future and a lot more reveals to come. And honestly, I'm just excited. Everything I'm seeing here just makes me more and more excited. I think King of Fighters 15 is going to be something truly special, and I hope you guys are here for it, because I definitely will be myself. That all said, my friends, that is the end of this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some King of Fighters.